Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I look super duper crazy right now. Welcome back to my channel. It is currently 10:30 at night. Who am I? I just felt creative. Like I just had, you know, when you're like, this quarantine has been really bored. Excuse my crazy hair. I'm in my pajamas. I just thought I'd do this crazy look. I've been doing a ton of TikToks and I wanted to try out and review the palette for you. I know I wouldn't have time tomorrow because tomorrow is the day that this video is going up. So this is Sunday. So this is Saturday night, the previous night. I know everything looks really crazy right now. I do like my glam looks, but this is way out of my comfort zone. I'm not really used to doing this powerful. Should I do more of it? I don't know. But yeah, so as you can see from today's title, today we'll be reviewing something that I've wanted to get my hands on for the longest time, and now that I have, because this was kind of gifted to me by Cult Beauty, I am just gagging for this palette. This palette is real life. Like this guy right here by JACLYN Hill. So if you want to see what my thoughts are on the JACLYN Hill palette, then please keep on watching. This palette came in the mail the other day. It was kind of gifted to me by Cult Beauty. Thank you so much. I've got a lipstick on and it's like really intense, so I'm probably gonna have to pat it down because I think I applied a little bit too much and it's going all smudgy and my life's just a mess. I wanted to do something a little bit more intense today. I think I should have done a nude lip with the lip, but hey ho, don't look at the lips, we're just focusing on the eyes. I will do a talk through on this eyeshadow look in just a second, but I wanted to talk to you about the palette itself. Let me bring you down a little bit lower. Oh. So yeah, this gorgeous palette came in the mail literally yesterday, day before, 2 days ago, day ago, I can't remember. And I have been watching so many reviews on this and I was skeptical about getting it because I was so in love with the original JACLYN Hill Volume 1 palette. I had tried the Vault, which I also have reviews on, and I was not a fan of the Vault, so I was really put off on. I loved her first palette, but I did not like the Vault at all. I could not stand it, I could not use it, I had to get rid of it. I passed it on to someone else who actually preferred the palette, but I did not like any of the four. There was 4 of them, right? I didn't like any of them at all. So we then have this guy, which the colour scheme, people, JACLYN, you slayed the colour scheme. Now what's weird is I've had a lot of people say, I don't know how I feel about the colour scheme. How could you not love the colour scheme? Like it's just fresh. Like I get, like with a lot of Morphe palettes, they tend to be either really like just brown focused. I can hint maybe, if anything, 3 browns, but these 2 are oranges, so I can see 1 brown. These wouldn't really be browns, these are more, okay, you could call those browns, but I see maybe 3 browns in a Morphe palette. That is a shocker because that never happens. This is like purple, burgundy, orange, yellow vibes. This is a killer palette, and I know I just want to spoil you guys here and say this is powerful. This is a powerful eyeshadow palette. I have not been disappointed at all. Same with the first palette, the first original, the same 35 one. I was so impressed with it. I loved it. It was one of my first ever Morphe eyeshadow palettes. I was so excited for it. It was a gift to me by my mum for my birthday or Christmas, I can't remember. This is some powerful stuff. Like, but do you know what's amazing about it? Before I go into the 2 looks that I created, they're so easy to handle. Anyone from beginner to experienced makeup artist can play with this. I am so in love. I was really actually quite worried. I was thinking to myself, no, this is not going to be it. Like, this is not going to hit the spot. This is not going to... This is going to be really powdery. I'm going to have loads of fallout. I'm going to be patchy purple. I'm going to be Mrs. Patchy. I'm just going to have like colours that blend into absolute nonsense. No, not at all. And I tried to use as many shades as possible in these looks. So I tried to be quite out there with what I used. They're both very purple focused because, as you can see, the palette is very purple focused. This is like a sunset, give me vibes, love me a bit of smokiness palette. I'm telling you now, this colour scheme is probably my favourite, other than the Morphe 35N, the Boss Mood palette, and the 18B, which are my 2 favourite Morphe palettes ever. And the formulation in them is sickening also. This is probably another palette that is in my sickening. Like, these three are the first Morphe palette, even though they've changed their formula now, that I heard, so I guess the payoff isn't the same. But this guy right here does wonders. So I am going to show you the first eye look, which is already up on my Instagram, but I wanted to give you a talk through on how I blended the shades and all of that and how I found them. So let's get into it. So obviously I'm going with the JACLYN Hill palette. I grabbed those 3 shades. I first went in with the purple shade and I sort of outlined where I wanted the shape to be. I sort of used one of these like defining brushes, like a really dense defining brush, just so I can sort of place the shadow where I want it, and then obviously I blend out the edges. I then went in with this sort of like burgundy red shade just to deepen up before I then went in with a little bit of the black, just a tiny bit. And then we went and cut the crease with the Acid Rain paint in Blank Canvas by Mimi Mitchell and P. Louise, which this is the first ever time I've tried it and it was amazing. I then used these 4 shimmers to build up. So I used the darkest on the outer corner, then the pink in the middle, then the sort of like rosy gold in the inner corner, and then the right in the inner corner I used this iridescent like purpley icy white shade. I then just used the Morphe Stargazer liner and then the Flash Foil paint by Sleek, which is in Turn, I think. Then I used the original purple on the lower lash line and we are done. Okay, so you have seen the first look which I created, which was more like a purple cut crease. I did use other products in it, which I also probably mentioned to you. I don't know if I have because I haven't edited it yet. But I was so impressed. As soon as I laid that first shade down, and I used Morphe brushes, if any of you guys are wondering, I did use the Morphe brushes, which are really affordable. When I laid the colours down, people, I was like, excuse me, what I'm not getting any issues. I had no issues. Like, I'm telling you now, like this eyeshadow look took nothing of my storage up on my camera. Like, in my SD card, I had literally barely took up any storage because of how quick this eye look was. Now, it looks really intense, and not really, it looks sort of like in the mediocre of eyeshadow looks. Like, everyone could probably do a cut crease like that, but it was so quick, so easy. The colours blended beautifully together and I was just so impressed, especially with this purple shade right here, which is not my journey. This one right here I was so worried about because I thought to myself, this is going to be a mess. This is going to be a mess. It's going to be a hot mess where it's going to be either powdery or it's just going to fall apart, or it's going to, you know, when it gets a little bit patchy where it goes dark in one spot and then as you blend it, no, that didn't happen. You can probably see my mood's a bit different because it's like 10:30 at night and I'm sort of like, so I'm trying to like bring the energy back. Anyway, now onto the shimmers. Oh, another shade that I was really impressed with and I thought was going to be a total mess, and I'm not saying this to shade JACLYN at all. I don't know too much about her. I don't really watch many other like big influencers. That's just my preference. I tend to watch quite my local people anyway, because I know they're doing the same stuff that I'm doing anyway, so that's just my personal preference. But this colour right here, Crazy, I was thinking to myself, oh my god, this is going to be fallout, this is going to be a hot mess where I can literally blow the shade away. No honey, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. This palette came hard. Yeah. So yeah, now I'm going to move on to the shimmers. I did use quite a few shimmers. Now I will say it's not my favourite shimmer formula, and I've said that with all of the Morphe palettes other than the first few, so like the 3502. They were some powerful shimmers. The original 3502, or was it 3503? I can't remember, but the 3502 originally was beautiful. The 3503 I think it's called, the second one with the like the pop of like pink, that was gorgeous. The 35M Boss Mood palette is nice, but the shimmers are not like wow, they're not wow, like they're not oh my god you need to try these shimmers. Same with this one. When I tried one of the bronzy palettes, I think it was Bronze Goals, I had a review on it. It was a really popular review. I liked the eyeshadow look I made, but the shimmers were so disappointing. Like, they were so disappointing. They were just dry. They didn't want to move. I even tried them on my finger. I tried to warm them up in the palette. Did not move. These ones are nice and they do pack on quite nicely. If you use a dense brush, if you use more of a brush that you'd use to pack on shimmer anyway, they were nice. The ones that I tried were Good Place, which is the purple next to the matte purple, this one right here, the corresponding purple shade. This was nice. It wasn't heavily pigmented in my opinion. It was like, actually no, do you know what? It was like a good pigment for that purple, but it just wasn't like shimmery. It was more of like a sort of a wetter version of that matte shade, if you get what I mean. Obviously, I could be saying exactly what JACLYN wanted in the palette. I've not watched her video or anything like that. And then I used A Moment, which was a really nice shade as well. That again had the same texture as the Good Place. Then I moved on to using like Drama Queen, Ride or Die and Bougie. These three here, those three there. I was expecting them to be really creamy. They're not. They're quite hard. Like if I'm on my finger now, like I swiped twice and it's just not blinding. Like I'm just not getting usual Morphe vibes from it, but that's fine. Like it's not the end of the world. I wouldn't really use those shades on my lid just because I know I'm going to pack on so much it's going to go really crumbly. I can just tell, I can foresee it. So yeah. Oh, I got lipstick on my teeth. No. The one that I was impressed with and that I am going to be using quite a lot is I'm In It. This is a gorgeous, like, what do you call those shimmers that like change colour? Because like my inner corners have got it, but it looks purple. I love it. What do you call those? Iridescent? I don't even know, but you guys will know what I mean. That's a really, really lovely shade for the inner corner of the brow bone. I'm not sure how it would pack on the lid. I haven't tried it yet, but I have tried it in my inner corner. It's very much an inner corner shade. So yeah, that is a massive plus to that one. So now we're going to move on to this eye look right here, which is quite intense, but I love a little intense look every now and then. So yeah.
Okay, so using the shades that I have just shown you in a second, I'm mixing the pinks together, I'm mixing the purples together, I'm mixing the oranges together because it really impacts on the shade. I'm using that first and original brush to define the actual shadows and then going with the purple and do the same just to deepen it. And then I'm going to use this orange shade, and this was so beautiful. It just diffused the shadow so nicely, and then I went in with the yellow, as you can see. I then took the black shade and just started to deepen up my lid colour. This was so easy to do. It didn't take me literally like 30 seconds if that, and then blended it all together. I then took the same shades underneath my lower lash line and built them up, and then used that iridescent inner corner shade, which is absolutely beautiful. I had some liner in the waterline and put some lashes on, and this is the final look. It was so easy to do, honestly. I loved it, and I just kept building up the depth of colour until I got what I wanted. So it was super duper easy and fun.
Back, I've showed you that eye look. Now I did go in with a few different, more like a few more shades rather than the last one, because I didn't want to just use the same shades. I used a few. I wanted to use some of like the hot pinks, I wanted to use the oranges and the yellow. They done some stuff, like, and you know what's really nice sometimes, especially like if I was to compare it to the Carnival XL palette, if I was to compare it to this one right here, which I'll show you. Now I've always loved this palette and will still always love this palette. I'm not going to shade against the palette at all in any way, shape or form, but I want to compare the type of eyeshadows. Now with these, for example, like the orange here, as soon as I pack it on, even onto a really like not so much dense, more sort of dense but fluffy type of, these type of small fluffy brushes, because I want to add it to my brow bone and sort of blend it out. If I do that with something like this, it's going to be so intense initially. When you put it down, it's going to be difficult to blend, and I do find that even myself, I'm still learning to improve on my blending skills, but as soon as I start to pack on any type of those shades, like these shades, they're so intense that it will just blend into a hot mess. Now I was really worried about that with this palette, however it's performed brilliantly. Shadows are sort of that formula that as soon as you pack on, it blends beautifully, where you can intensify the pink. So it starts off not so pigmented, not in a bad way, because you're using a feathery brush that's going to brush away most of the pigment, because you just really want to just softly blend, and then over time you'll build it up and build it up, and it's so beautifully built. You can build this up so beautifully, it just makes the look work. Like, I was so worried that, obviously I'm still not a pro with blending, I'm still learning, and we're always learning. I'm not anything like Mitchell or Stacey Marie, anything like that. I don't want to be, but I'm just my own little self. Now I did find that this was it made me feel good about my skills. Like, it was such a good palette. Like, I can't rave about it more. I've had friends say to me, oh Hannah, is it like actually that good? Yes. Would I recommend, if I knew this, if I saw a review that was basically explaining what I was explaining, I've watched a few reviews, nothing that has gone really into depth. If there is videos, please let me know, but like, if someone had said this to me now, I'd buy it straight away. And that's not a selling technique, that's just me saying this is a palette, even though I've got too many eyeshadow palettes anyway, I need in my collection because it's not very much like any other palette. If I want a purple eyeshadow palette, besides from this one, I'd probably go for the 35M. I'm not going to really say that this is the purple palette, because it's not. It's got different colours in it. But if you are looking for that summery, punchy, gorgeous vibes, I don't even know how to describe it, like the palette that you need in your collection with colour, pop of colour, this is the one right here. I would have loved to be honest, to have seen that a few of these shades, which I know are cute, like I'm cute, I don't really see myself using them. Maybe I will if I'm doing like an everyday eyeshadow look, but if I was, I love the blues in her first palette. I loved blues or greens. Now I know that would have been basically like James Charles or like a remake of like a colourful palette, because I can see it, if you get what I mean, like the reds and the pinks, purples and the pinks, the yellows, oranges, and then it would have been funny with the greens and blues. But I feel as if she used like a more of a baby blue, or if more of like a sea blue or a sky blue, or more of like an off minty blue. If you put a little bit of neon vibes at the top, that would have been beautiful. So yeah, but that's just my only critique to the palette really, but that's just because I'm greedy and I want more shadows. But yeah, so overall I was highly impressed. I hope that I've covered most things. Was there anything that I was disappointed with? Not really. The shimmers, to be honest, I was predicting that they were going to be the same. For some reason Morphe have changed their formula of shimmers. I don't know why they've done that. Maybe it's because they've made them vegan and cruelty free now, so maybe they had to take a few things out that made them a bit more creamy, a bit more textured, and they just glided on and they just looked like life on my eyeballs. And maybe that's the reason, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, it's workable. The shadows are really workable. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry that I'm rushing and talking really fast. These lights are boiling. I want to go to bed. I might watch a film. But yeah, I really hoped you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a lovely Easter Sunday wherever you are in the world. I love you all. Thank you for joining me for this video. Once again, you can shop it in the, I'll put a link to where you can actually buy the palette on Morphe's website, and I think I'll put one to Cult Beauty just in case it's sold out. I'll put a Cult Beauty one and I'll put a one on Morphe's website for you. They might be affiliate links. I'll tell you in the description, which means I just earn a little bit of commission if you buy it. Don't have to buy it from my affiliate link, that's fine. But yeah, and please follow my Instagram, which is Hands at Loose, where you'll see this look up close and personal. And yeah, any questions in the description, and I love you all in the description, in the comment section, and I love you all, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye.